So one of the trends out there today is called keto, where you cut out the carbohydrates. So one of the misconceptions that people have are that carbohydrates are bad.
Mm-hmm.
That is a misconception, and it's a, an unfull truth, if that makes sense. And what
Mm-hmm.
do I mean by an unfull truth? So there are certain carbohydrates that you want to avoid. The carbohydrates that you want to avoid are the heavily processed ones. However, most people will lump carbohydrates into one big word, carbohydrates. However, you have complex carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates. Within complex carbohydrates, we're talking about things like the nuts, the seeds, the legumes, anything with fiber. So
Mm-hmm.
potatoes, your leafy vegetables, any fruit or vegetable. That's well, not fruit or vegetable. I'm sorry. Let me step back. Anything that's high fiber. So your oats, your nuts, your seeds, your grains. These are going to be complex carbohydrates.
Okay.
Then you have simple carbohydrates. These are your fruits, your vegetables. So you see how saying something as a carbohydrate is bad for you doesn't make sense?
Right.
Now, inside that simple carbohydrates, you also have processed carbohydrates because you can process all the grains that I just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Once you process those grains, now they become a simple carbohydrate, and that's a problem because once you process the carbohydrate, you remove the grain, the bran, and the fiber that makes it nutritious for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's left are the sugars. And so the body sees it as just that, as sugar, and it processes it as pure glucose because there are no other nutrients, phytonutrients, and the other micro or macronutrients to help support it and slow down the absorption of the sugar.
Wow.
So that's one misconception is carbohydrates are bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is calorie cutting. Everybody thinks that if you just stop eating and just eat just very little bit, that you're going to lose weight. You need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight, but that calorie deficit needs to be very small. Because when you create too big of a deficit, you actually create a starvation mode for your body where it slows your metabolism down. And now you're burning less calories than you want to be. And you start to store more. So another misconception is not eating at all is a way to lose weight. So that's where I get into another touchy subject. We're going to talk about keto and intermittent fasting.
Yes. Good.
So intermittent fasting can be a helpful tool when used correctly. However, most people are not able to maintain or sustain intermittent fasting long term because it's hard. And if you are not eating enough calories in your window of eating, you're still doing your body a disservice because you're not giving your body the calories it needs to boost your metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when you think about it, I want everybody to think about this really quickly. If you stop eating at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't eat breakfast until 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock the next day, that's a 12-hour window. That's
Mm-hmm.
intermittent fasting.
Yes.
Like, so it, what I want people to move away from are these gimmick terms, these fad diets, and find a way to make living a part of your healthy a part of your everyday lifestyle. So that means focusing on eating foods that are high in nutrients, high in fiber, low in calories. The earlier in the day, you want to start your stuff off with fresh fruits and vegetables to help your digestive system.
Yeah.
Moving into the day, you can start to add more cooked foods, foods that are a little